he hopped off the bed after the second surgery and supposedly started fighting the nurse and asked the nurse where's his gun at, something like that.
The story surrounding King Von's final moments is getting wilder with each passing day. After the altercation with Quando Rondo, which left Von seriously injured, the drama didn't end there. Reports suggest that Quando's crew allegedly took things all the way to the hospital. You remember when Von's cousin mentioned that he had jumped off the bed after his second surgery, causing a scene and allegedly asking the nurse, "Where's his gun?" Well, it's starting to make more sense now. Maybe Von was just trying to protect himself. The internet has been piecing everything together, and what they found is shocking. Let's break it down. On November 6, 2020, the rap world suffered a huge loss when rising drill rapper King Von, whose real name was Devin DeCoin Bennett, was tragically killed. Just a week after the release of his debut album, Welcome to Block, Von was on the brink of stardom, having gained major traction under the mentorship of Chicago rapper Lil Durk. Von's rise from the streets of Chicago's Block neighborhood to hip-hop fame was truly something special. Born in 1994, Von spent much of his younger years caught up in the streets, even facing multiple bids. His breakthrough came when Lil Durk signed him to his label in 2018. Von quickly established himself as one of the hardest-hitting storytellers in drill music, with hits like Crazy Story showcasing his raw, authentic street perspective. But things took a tragic turn when a night meant for celebration ended in violence. In the early hours of November 6th, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, Von had a confrontation with Quando Rondo, who was signed to NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label. This encounter escalated into a shootout, and Von lost his life, forever changing the landscape of the rap world. The events leading up to Von's death started earlier that evening at Opium nightclub, where he was hosting a party for the release of his album.
Was he alive at the hospital, you know?
I believe he died during surgery.
His manager, 100K Track, had mentioned that they didn't plan on going to another spot that night, but Von made a last-minute decision to visit the Monaco Hookah Lounge. Unfortunately, that decision proved to be fatal. Von was rushed to the hospital after being shot, and despite the medical team doing everything they could, the injuries were too severe. He was hit with several close-range gunshots, and according to Track, Von passed away during surgery. Track confirmed this in his interview with DJ Academics, stating that Von didn't make it through the surgery.
That is completely false. First of all, no disrespect to Asian Doll. And we spoke this morning because I seen some of the tweets and some of the stuff, and I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, bro, I know you mourning and you hurt like everybody else, but you need to slow down because, one, you wasn't there. So how can you make assumption and accuse guys of doing this and that? And the last words that she's talking about, and it's in a text message, and I can show you, she's talking to Von through her spiritual advisor from after death.
The news of King Von's death shocked fans in the rap community, particularly in Chicago, where Von had risen from the infamous Block neighborhood to become a powerful voice in drill music. His untimely death at the height of his career hit hard, and artists like Chance the Rapper, Polo G, and NLE Choppa expressed their condolences. In the days following his death, rumors about Von's final moments at the hospital began circulating. His ex-girlfriend, Asian Doll, made claims on social media, suggesting that Von's last words indicated that his crew had let him down. She tweeted that Von's final words were, "Y'all let them up on me. Stop crying. Y'all let them get me." However, Track shut down these claims in his interview, saying that those words were fabricated and that Asian Doll wasn't even there when Von passed. Track even reached out to her to ask her to stop spreading false information. Track also clarified that Von and Asian Doll had been broken up at the time of his death. He further explained that Von still had love for her, but was not involved with her romantically when the incident occurred.
When we first get there, the doors was locked. The lady wouldn't let us in. She panicking inside. We still standing outside. I think that's why he went on live, because he was trying to say like he was gonna get a lawsuit or something just in case. But anyway, lady was panicking inside the hospital.
In the aftermath of King Von's passing, many theories and rumors emerged about what happened at the hospital. Some claimed that Quando Rondo's crew somehow found their way to Vaughn while he was being treated, but Track and other first-hand accounts disputed those rumors, citing hospital security protocols and the chaotic situation surrounding the incident. Dagger. Truth is, despite medical efforts, Vaughn's injuries were just too much. He was shot multiple times at close range, and despite the hospital staff doing their best, he couldn't be saved. The rumors of a hospital altercation don't hold up, and the situation surrounding his death remains clouded in mystery. Lou Tim, Quando Rondo's right-hand man, was also wounded in the shootout and needed treatment at the hospital. In an interview, he described the tense situation at the hospital, adding more layers to the confusion. Both camps from the shooting sought medical help, but claims about further confrontations don't match the evidence or timelines. While recovering from his own injuries, Lou Tim was arrested for King Von's murder, though the charges were later dropped in 2023 under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law, which allowed Lou Tim to claim self-defense. The violence didn't end there. In 2022, Quando Rondo was targeted in a shooting in Los Angeles that killed his cousin, Lou Pab. This attack, according to federal authorities, was allegedly orchestrated as retaliation for Von's death. In 2024, Lil Durk and several others were indicted for their involvement in the plot. The tragic cycle of violence stemming from King Von's death continues to affect everyone involved. From the moment of the altercation at the hookah lounge to the shooting of Quando Rondo in LA, the aftermath of that fateful night has rippled through the rap world, leaving behind a trail of broken lives, lost careers, and unsolved mysteries. In Marishichiu, his own interview, Lil Tim reflected on the whole ordeal, speaking about the uncertainty of life and the tragic consequences of that night. As the case continues to unfold, it's clear that King Von's death left scars on both sides, and the violence and tensions surrounding it will likely echo for years to come. The ripple effect of King Von's death has touched many lives, both in the rap industry and beyond. His passing hit hardest in Chicago's O-Block community, where he was not just seen as a successful rapper, but as someone who was elevating his entire team. Von was seen as a leader who was determined to help his friends and family escape the streets and build a better future. His death sparked an outpouring of grief and calls for revenge, with fans and associates rallying under the slogan "Slide for Von." King Von's manager, Track, has been vocal about the devastating impact Von's death had on everyone close to him. In his interview with DJ Academics, Track expressed his frustration with how people on the internet were questioning the loyalty of Von's friends and crew who were present during the incident. Track emphasized that Von's crew weren't just his entourage, but his family. They had been with him through thick and thin, and they were there to support him, not let him down. Track's comments highlight the deep bond within Von's inner circle, and how his death left a hole that no one could fill. Track further explained that Von had been in the process of buying homes and cars for his people, showing just how committed he was to taking his friends and family out of the streets. Von's loss wasn't just a personal tragedy for his team, it was a collective loss for the entire O-Block community. The people who were with Von weren't just casual friends. They had grown up together, been through everything together, and his success was supposed to be their ticket to a better life. On the other side, Quando Rondo and his crew have faced severe backlash following the shooting. Despite maintaining that he was the victim in the situation,
I wasn't even paying attention to everyone who was in the parking lot, because it's like, I'm not even from Atlanta, so I don't know everybody in Atlanta, so it's not like I'm even looking for people to even know or be known. Like, I'm not even looking around to see if I even see some people I know, because I'm not even from here. So I was on the phone when it first happened. So
Rondo has been blackballed in the industry. Shows have been canceled, collaborations have fallen through, and he's faced challenges in securing deals and opportunities. In interviews, Quando has expressed his frustration with the way he's been painted as the villain, despite insisting that he was simply defending himself from an unprovoked attack. This tension between the two sides has only deepened in the years since Von's death. The situation surrounding King Von's death has led to more violence, more controversy, and more heartbreak.
And for some, like this is, I can't make this up. For some reason, Vaughn wasn't himself. I'm not gonna lie. This is somebody who's more on point than security. This is somebody, if I'm on the road with, I'm with him. Like, cause he know how to move.
As fans and the industry continue to mourn Vaughn, they also struggle with the reality that this senseless violence seems to be part of a cycle that's difficult to break. The legal aftermath has been equally complex. While Lou Tim was initially charged with Vaughn's murder, he was eventually released in 2021 after the charges were dropped under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law, which validated his self-defense claim. This legal decision did little to sway the public's perception, especially among Vaughn's supporters, who still view Lou Tim and Quando as the aggressors in the situation. This tragic chain of events didn't just affect those directly involved. It had far-reaching consequences for their families, friends, and careers. The cycle of violence continues, with more shootings, more charges, and more lives lost. It's clear that the death of King Von sparked a series of events that would continue to shake the hip-hop community for years.
Oh, but our fans are not going to be the same, so I feel like everybody who against me because of a past situation, I don't give a f about them because they ain't never been my fan from the get-go.
I know you said you don't really regret anything, so you don't regret going to the hookah lounge that night?
Man, but bro, I don't even want to talk about that, but bro, man, listen.
As for the state of Quando Rondo's career, it seems that the repercussions of that night are far from over. He remains deeply affected by the backlash, and his ongoing struggles with the industry only highlight how the events of November 2020 have left a permanent scar on everyone involved. But perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of all this is the loss of a man who, despite his troubled past, had a dream of helping his people rise above their circumstances. King Von's tragic death didn't just take away a talented artist. It took away someone who was truly trying to make a difference in the lives of those closest to him. The story of King Von's life and death is a reflection of the harsh realities of the streets, the music industry, and the deep, often painful loyalty that binds people together. As the dust continues to settle, we can only hope that the cycle of violence will eventually come to an end, and that the lessons learned from Von's death can help prevent further tragedies in the future.